last name?
Qian Xuesen.
Finds himself accused of being a communist, and what happens next shapes the future of both his new and native homelands. Diana Wyenn, and it's DianaWYENN.com, right?
Yes.
WYENN.com if you want to meet your actors. And I wanted to let you know that she developed this with Henry Ong before he passed for 10 years. Can you please tell us?
Yeah, so Henry and I knew each other through the theater scene here. He was a beloved playwright and also just a community builder. Here, he would kind of go to everybody's opening nights and take photos of us all and say, like, who are these famous people, and post these photos on Facebook back when that was like Instagram wasn't a thing yet. So Facebook was everything. And it just made us see each other. And he was like, I have seen enough of your work to know we should work together. And I was like, we should work together. And so in 2016, he sent me the script for Ascent, the like first draft that I had seen. And as soon as I saw that story, I just knew I had to help him tell it. And I was all in. So we did a reading over at ESTLA that True Tran, who is the lead in our current production, was part of. And then the next year, we worked at Inkwell Theater on a workshop. Russell Edge, one of the two men, was a part of that. So in 2018, Henry passed away from cancer. And so we had worked on the script for 2.5 years at that point, and I knew there was something really important and it was really strong. And so I kept all the files and I just kind of kept talking about it to people to see if anybody would come through with a production or would be interested to support this. And so Stella, his sister, and I reunited via another playwright, Tom Jacobson, and Stella had been talking to these two other producers who loved Henry's work. They're Bob Meadow and Carrie Minkle Meadow. And so the four of us, Stella, myself, Carrie, and Bob, just were like, let's get this done. And so we did. Well, I started as a performer and then found my way into choreographing my high school's show choir and musicals at the school. And it was actually NYU that was like, why don't you come to our directing program? Because you're doing this kind of work. And so then I studied directing and I kept choreographing my way through college and still, even to this day, sometimes choreograph, but predominantly directing these days and developing shows. So how did this all happen with the set and all that? So the beam that you see maybe up there is the structure of the actual space. And so we walked in, this thing was like a empty black box with a brown beam going through it. And so Randy Wong Westbrook is our scenic designer. And they did an amazing job kind of ideating with me around how to not only create an intimate experience, but one that was epic, to hold a story that has international implications. Yes, it's a rocket nozzle. Exactly. So yeah, and Yuki Izumihara's projections are on the inside of that. So we did that. But you asked about True, and I just want to say, like, True is a gem of a human being. And it was Henry who, for that very first reading that we did, was like, True is our person. And so, True and I worked together on that one. And this just became one of those projects that we knew we had to complete together. And we now laugh because we have photos of us from 10 years ago, because it took that long to finish, to get to this point in this project, because I really hope that this piece has a future and I would like to tour with this actual production. So hopefully it's just the beginning. But I will say that, like, yeah, it was just really important for True and I, looking back, we were like, we have these pictures of 10 years have passed. And yeah, we could have done the play then, but I think so much has happened in our lives and it for us professionally to prepare us to now really more profoundly present Henry's work. I think this one is an important one because it's a story we don't know. I mean, I really did not know the story. I think, it's relatively unknown. The New York Times lately, because of what's happening politically in the country, has kind of flagged it as a kind of canary in the coal mine story. But it's I just want people to come and experience it and then keep talking about it, because we've been here before and we keep doing it again and again. And that's one of the things that Henry picked up on in 2016 when we were working together. And it's kind of become even more deep, upsetting, profound. But Henry's found this beautiful way to illuminate this very difficult story with humor and so much love. And the way that you start to see these people as not just some figure from history, but actually a man who is being told not to work, is under house arrest for 5 years, and is stuck. And this is somebody who, when he, the prisoner exchange happens after the Korean War. Once he returns to China, he is celebrated as the father of their rocketry. And he is one of the founders of ours. And I think it's so interesting because in China, there are statues of him all over. But here, he's a relatively unknown figure. And I'm glad that Henry shined a light on him. And I just also want to add, I want to share and celebrate Henry's sister, Stella Ong, has been carrying his Henry's legacy forward. And so she has been absolutely instrumental in making this project happen, and also just like enabling us to really celebrate Henry and what he captured with this work and tell this story. So I think that's what's so funny is like I started here, but I do so much opera now that no one remembers that. So it's really nice to get to do a play and come back to that. But will you perform again? I do sometimes. Okay. I also direct a lot of solo performance, and I realized how powerful that form is, of one person standing up and saying, like, I have something that I'd like to tell you. And it's been after directing a couple of those, then I created a show because I have type 1 diabetes, and it's a disease that is just so misunderstood. Diabetes in general is just so misunderstood because it's not caused by sugar, any form of it. So I set out to kind of demystify the condition, and so I get on stage for that because that's a story I kind of need to tell with my body. But yeah, I love performing. I hope I get more opportunities to do so. But when I have the chance to help tell a story like this through directing, there's nothing better. There might be 4 people on stage, but there's like scores of people who helped make this project possible. Our designers, our production stage manager, Jacob. I mean, like it's a true team effort. That's what intimate theater does so well, is it, in our community, we're so willing to take a chance to share the stories that are not told on the larger stages and screens, because there's a certain amount of profit that they have to make, and so I love this community, and I love that we tell these underrepresented stories. I think there's also something so beautiful at this time when so much of our time is spent behind computers or talking across phones or things like that. Nothing is better than being in person together and breathing the same air and hearing the same story. We started around campfires telling each other stories, and the theater is where that still happens today. I'm so happy that there's such a strong play that everybody should watch. Yes. So I hope everyone watches. Thank you, Jacob Padilla, for working overtime. And thank you to the audience of OG Yoke podcast. Yeah. We are also a humble organization that's volunteer-based, and just to shine a light to the director, DIANA WYENN. Thank you. I mean, thank you so much. It means so much that you were moved by the project, and it means so much that you're sharing this with everyone out there. So thank you.